Okay, so what you think about Prophet Muhammad?
I don't believe he's a prophet.
So, okay, so you do against, because we believe he's
No, I'm not
prophet.
against Muslims. I'm just against Islam. There's a difference. I'm not against you. The reason why I want to talk to you is because I'm for you. I want you to find the truth. Your Quran is saying that the Quran is saying that the Torah and the Injil of Muhammad's time is confirmed.
The Torah at the time of Moses and the Bible.
No. It doesn't say that in your Quran. Look at what your Quran says at the time of Muhammad. Shall I show you? Because that's what your Quran says. And the thing is, you know how Muslims accuse Christians of distorting what the Bible teaches? It's actually Muslims that are distorting what the Quran teaches.
I have to look more into this.
Well, let me show you. Let me show you. I'm going to show you. You seem to be running. What are you afraid of?
We know you.
Yeah.
No, I don't know you, and I don't.
So if a man makes a false accusation, he's got to prove it. Like,
we've seen you on YouTube.
So let him prove his accusation.
When you insult our prophet,
I'm not. All I've said about your prophet is what your book say about your
prophet.
prophet.
You've called him Satan. You've called him many things.
What did I say to him? What did I say about him?
You called Allah
So
Satan.
let's come to what your Quran
I'll go
says.
back to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know now.
I'll just show you one verse then. Let me show you one verse.
There's no need. There's obviously no need.
No, there is a need because your imams are lying to you. They're not showing you what the Quran teaches. Yes, your imams are lying to you. Yeah.
Look, I only came here today.
We're here to learn. We're not here to
I'm here to learn too.
big points.
100%. Look,
We're here to learn because we thought that he's very honest.
the point is, if you're here to learn, then there has to be some like manners and all this.
Absolutely.
And look, if I don't know, then I'm saying I don't know.
Well, that's fine. So
And if
So I'm
you
gonna
don't
show you.
know, you say you don't know.
no, I'm not saying I don't know. I'm saying I do know.
No, in general. In a certain matter.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't speak without knowledge.
That's fine. That's fine. So let me show you what I do know.
If I don't know.
Let me show you what I do know.
And if
Okay.
you're certain you do know, then you have to be fair.
I have to be fair and I have to show you evidence. If I make a claim
And if you
about
don't
your
show
book,
evidence,
agreed. If I don't show evidence, then I have failed as an interlocutor.
yes.
It's not that you failed, it's just about learning the truth.
Exactly. So let me show you what I mean in your Quran. Yeah. Now, the thing is, you can either investigate truth, or you can allow other people to be manipulative and to pull you away from learning. So,
Khalil, look, listen.
right.
Look,
So
Wait, what's your
let me-
claim? Your claim is
So my claim is that the Quran is very clear that the Injil and the Torah.
He's just.
Why are you being rude? Why are you being rude?
You disrespect the prophet. No.
Why are you being rude? I'm having a decent conversation.
Is it true you disrespect the prophet?
No, I just quote to Muslims what your own books say about
What's his,
Muhammad.
okay, what's his say?
So, for example, that he has married a child and that he had sex with a child.
It doesn't say that
in Sahih al-Bukhari. It does.
No.
Yes,
the
it does.
Quran.
Do you want me to show you?
In the Quran, that's hadith.
Do you reject the
Bro,
hadith?
you're supporting his
It's not,
content
I
like
didn't
this.
say
Okay?
that. I said, first of all, you said in the Quran, right?
Okay.
In the Quran, it doesn't say that he married a child.
Right.
Okay, and first of all, a child, Aisha radiallahu anha was not a child.
I
She
want
was,
to come back to the original conversation.
Okay.
He was just throwing
I
out
know,
tropes.
okay.
So let's come back to what he actually says in the Quran. In Surah 543, let's go there, right? I don't know, have you got a Quran on you? Do you want to pull up your
I
Quran?
got my phone.
Okay, pull up Surah 543. Okay. My hands are a bit numb, forgive me. It was there in the 7th century, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
We don't deny the Torah.
Right,
It's
so
just the Torah has been changed throughout time. You know?
Right, but my argument to you is that the Torah was there in the 7th century, and the Quran affirms that the Torah was there in the 7th century. Do you agree that the Quran is stating that the Torah was there in the 7th century?
The 7th?
The 7th century. Muhammad was in the 7th century, right? Yes?
Over 1,400 years ago.
Yeah, 1,400 years ago, Muhammad was speaking to some Jews, and Allah says that they've got the Torah with them.
Allahu Akbar. I don't know. I
Right.
don't speak without
Okay,
knowledge.
so
Anyway, going back to
so-
I do know about what you were saying. Sorry to cut you off. But about the child, you said.
No,
the child.
I'm not interested in that conversation. I
I
want
know,
to talk
but you
about this.
brought it up, you
No,
know?
I didn't.
You
No, I
said-
didn't.
but
He
you-
brought it up.
I know, but
No.
your claim that he
I
married a
want,
child.
I want to stick on this topic. I want to stick on this topic.
I don't know about this. I'm
Right.
not going to speak without
So,
knowledge.
so that's fine.
But I know
then
about-
let me show you what I know.
No, I don't need to know. You know, I'll rather go to people I trust. You know.
Right,
obviously,
so that's fine. But what we've got here is in the Quran, it's saying that the Torah was there in the 7th century. Now, the point is, bro, if you just do 10 minutes worth of investigation, you'll realize that we have copies of the Torah from the 7th century. We have
Yeah, like I
7th
said,
century
I'd
copies of
rather-
the Torah.
I'd rather speak about something I do know instead of
From
something
different
I don't.
places,
I know,
at
but-
different times.
So I know what you're saying. You're saying, but me as a person, I want to speak about something I do know instead of something
Right,
I
well,
don't know.
I-
like I don't know where you get your information. It's probably I know you're against Muslims. And
No, I'm not
as
against
in-
Muslims.
Obviously,
That's
you
wrong.
do. Okay, so what you think about Prophet Muhammad?
I don't believe he's a prophet.
So okay, so you do against because we believe he's
No, I'm
a
not
prophet.
against Muslims. I'm just against Islam. There's a difference. I'm not against you. The reason why I want to talk to you is because I'm for you. I want you to find the truth. That's not being against you.
Okay, so let's go to the main purpose of the truth.
Shall I tell you the real reason why I reject Islam?
Okay, what's the real reason?
Because the Quran states that the Torah was there in the 7th century. And if the Torah is there in the 7th century, then it hasn't been changed. And if it hasn't been changed, well, the Torah contradicts the Quran.
Okay, okay. See, we don't have the Torah today.
How do you know?
We don't have it
How do you know?
because we don't. There's a verse in Surah Ma'idah.
Right? Go
It
on.
says,
Let's pull up that verse. Because my point is, Muslims say things like we don't have the Injil, we don't have the Torah, but none of them have actually investigated
the
any of
Torah
those
and the
claims.
Injil, anyway, we have the Quran. So the Quran that's what we have, you know.
But if the Torah was there in the 7th century, and we know what the Torah looked like in the 7th century, that means that it has been preserved. And if it has been preserved, it contradicts the Quran.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
What does Quran say? Quran say we believe worship, one God, monotheism.
Right?
Yeah.
Where's your verse that says that the...
like
show
I
me,
said, I'd
show me a
rather-
verse that says the Torah has been lost.
No, I don't have that.
Show me a verse
Anyway,
that
I
says
don't
the
have
Torah has
knowledge
been
about
changed.
this, man, but I do want to speak about you saying the Aisha radiallahu anha was a child.
Okay, what's a child?
A child, a difference between a child and adult is that why the Prophet, peace be upon him, married Aisha, because she was ready.
That's not my question. My question is, what is
I
a
know,
child?
but I'm saying, you're
no,
saying...
you wanted to talk
think-
about this
you
topic.
think
What
that-
is a child?
No, I'm getting to it.
No,
Okay.
what is a child? That's the question.
child
What is a child?
little
What's the
kid.
difference between you biologically and a child biologically?
I don't know. To be honest with you, it's that a child to you thinks that it's a little kid. Am I right?
No. So the difference between you and a child is not only do you have testes developed that are producing sperm, right, and testosterone flowing through your blood and a whole bunch of other chemicals, you also have what's called frontal lobe development. Now, do you know what frontal lobe development is? Do you know what frontal lobe development allows you to do?
Anyway, that's not the topic.
No, it is the topic.
That
The topic
she was
is
ready, she was
the
spiritually
topic-
ready.
How do you know?
mentally
How
and
do you know?
physically.
How do you know?
Because the Prophet, peace be upon him.
How do you know?
You know, actually, we're against. You okay? See, you live in this generation.
No.
You live in this
Hold on
generation.
1 second.
First of all, 1,400.
What
years
is a
ago,
child?
A child is just a little kid that's not physically ready.
Yes,
Mentally ready.
brilliant.
So, but
When does frontal lobe development begin?
anyway, man.
When does frontal
this
lobe
is going
development
nowhere.
begin?
I'm not gonna speak where it just.
When does frontal lobe development begin?
I don't know, man.
Does it
but,
begin at 6?
Like I said,
You don't know. You see, you don't know. The point is, you come out with these words like Muhammad, Aisha wasn't a child, but you don't even know what a child is. And you don't know when frontal lobe development begins. And I am telling you as a fact, my friend, 6-year-olds do not have frontal lobe development.
That's
They
what you
do
think.
not have frontal lobe
I
development.
mean, that's your opinion, you know.
That's a fact, bro.
That's
Go
your-
and, if I'm wrong, go away and prove it. Go away and prove it. I challenge you.
That's your
Go away
opinion,
and find
you
a study
I mean,
that
I-
says a child has frontal lobe
I
development.
mean, look, you know, like you, as a Muslim, if you have a problem with,
If you don't have
wait,
frontal
can I
lobe
talk-
development, if you
can I
don't,
talk-
no, we're not even having a conversation. You're just coming out with tropes and you're ignoring what I'm saying and you're not engaging with what I'm saying. So this is not
Okay,
a
but
conversation.
look.
No.
You have a.
What does
you
frontal
have-
lobe development allow you to do?
Look. You have a problem with. You think that it's wrong that a man. If he, you know,
I think it
the
is
prophet
wrong that a
is- But
54-year-old
what about
man
you? Okay.
married a 6-year-old child and had sex with a 9-year-old child. Yes, that is wrong.
Okay, but you.
There's a word for it. What's that
okay,
word?
but You as.
What's the word? For when a
No,
50-year-old,
okay, can I
4-year-old man
Okay,
has
but
sex with a 9-year-old child. What's
Why
the word
okay,
for it?
If you're gonna go there and think that's wrong, in your opinion,
It is wrong, yes.
Okay, why do you believe the creator of the heavens and earth was a little baby?
Right.
If you think that, like we can go there.
So
know?
you said that you wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about what the Quran says about the Torah.
Okay,
You
first
You insisted that we change the topic.
It's all good.
Now I'm engaging you on the
Take care.
topic that you chose. Now you want to change the topic again.
not changing
All you're doing is jumping from topic to topic, and you're
okay,
not
take care.
investigating any of the claims that you're making.
If that's what you
The
think,
lies
it's
that
your
you
opinion.
believe
These are your opinions. you
have
know?
been disproven by facts, my friend, by facts.
I mean-
Fact.
I mean, me,
Children at 6 don't have frontal lobe development. Children at 6 cannot consent to marriage. For a nikah to be legal in Sharia law, must there be consent?
That's what you think.
I'm asking you.
It's your opinion. you know?
For a
These are your
marriage to be
opinions.
legal in
But,
Sharia law, must there be consent?
I mean, as a Muslim,
Answer that question. Why you see you're not even listening? This is what I mean. It's not a
because
conversation.
you are.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. All he's got is a bunch of catchphrases, and once his catchphrases have been tested, he's got nothing to say. Nothing.
That's your opinion.
Well, I mean, the people are hearing you not give any evidence, bro.
I mean,
Can
how
a
can I answer a man who believes God's a baby?
you see?
I mean, that's-
He's ignoring
I
the
gotta
question.
go away from that,
The
you know?
reality is. There we go. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we've got here is the Muslims claim that the Bible has been lost. Muslims claim that the Bible has been changed. But when we challenge them on what their own Quran says about the Bible, we see that the Bible is there in the 7th century. And if it was there according to the testimony of the Quran in the 7th century, then that means we know what it looks like. Why? Because we have manuscripts of the Bible from the 7th century, so we can go to those manuscripts and see what it looks like. And do you know what it looks like, brothers and sisters? It looks like our Bible today, which means that the Muslim imams are lying to Muslims when they say that the Bible has been lost. And I challenged the Muslims on that, and he said, no, I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about Aisha. Aisha, the wife, the child bride of Muhammad. And they was arguing that Aisha was physically and mentally able to marry. What utter b****s. 6-year-old girls do not have frontal lobe development. 6-year-old girls cannot consent to marriage. When Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl, it was impossible for her to consent. That is why across the Islamic world, child marriage is continuing today. Because their best example married a 6-year-old. But it gets worse, so much worse. He didn't just marry a 6-year-old, he had sex with her when she was 9 years old. There is no such thing as a 9-year-old woman. It does not exist. It has never existed at any time in history. The logic of the Muslims is if you bleed, you can breed. That is a fallacious logic,
Aisha was not a woman, she was a child. Now, why is it a problem? After all, didn't Christian kings marry children? Yes, they did. But we don't say that those kings are an example for us today. We don't say that those kings are the best example for us today. But Muslim after Muslim after Muslim will tell you Muhammad is the best example. So when he married a 6-year-old and when he had sex with a 9-year-old, he was the best example on how to marry a 6-year-old and how to have sex with a 9-year-old. And it's rubbish. Christianity is something different. It allows a different kind of ethical learning that can develop with other forms of learning. So as the Christian world came to understand more about childhood development, Christians rejected marrying and having sex with children. That is the power of the Christian ethical system, is that it can change with other forms of knowledge. But Islam, by comparison, must insist that Muhammad is the best example. So he is the best example on how to marry 6-year-olds, and he is the best example on how to have sex with 9-year-olds. That is a license for paedophilia, and that is why we see child marriages continue across the Islamic world, and what created the milieu in which thousands of girls in the north of England were sexually abused by Muslim grooming gangs. We can do better than Muhammad, and that better example is Jesus Christ. And if you want to see the difference, then do what I did and pick up a gospel and learn about who Jesus Christ is and why Christianity offers the West better guidance than Islam. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any questions?
Yeah, you said when Christian beliefs, the ethics changed in terms of when to date, because they were married maybe young people before, but it changed. What was the process and when did this happen?
Right. The brother asks a good question. He says, what is the basis by which Christian ethics can change? The argument that the Muslims make is if you change your ethics, somehow your religion is subjective and relative. That's the argument. However, it's rubbish because they don't understand ethics. Ethics is the practice of morality and values. Christian morality and values do not change, but the ethical practice of them does. And why does the ethical practice of them does? Because technology changes the way we live. There was never an ethical question about whether we're littering space until we invented rockets that could take us to space. The ethical question of nuclear weapons was never asked until someone developed the nuclear weapon. But the morality that Christ gives to us when he says that he who causes one of these children to stumble, it is better that a stone be tied around his neck and that he be cast into the sea, is what guides the Christian understanding of sexual ethics and children. So in other words, we shouldn't harm children. Sex with children harms them mentally and physically. Islam cannot condemn sex with children because their best example is the best example on how to marry a 6-year-old. And their best example is the best example on how to have sex with a 9-year-old. Christianity teaches don't harm children. So when we learn that marrying 6-year-olds is harmful and having sex with 9-year-olds is harmful, the Christian can change their ethical practice. Islam cannot. And that is why Christianity is better guidance than Islam. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. If you want, I'll do another talk, but it's up to you. Would you like me to do another talk? Okay, guys, I'm going to stand by that railings for my next talk. If you want to listen to the next talk, please come and join me over there.